Hello, SpeedGaming. Sorry for the little delay in getting stuff up, but here we are 2 minutes into the race. We have apathyduck versus farfelu. So apathyduck right now I think is 4-0, and farfelu is 3-1.
That's right. This is our up-down match. As we get deeper into the Swiss pairings, the runner standings don't always align. So a little difference here.
Yeah, and if Duck manages to win this one, I think there'll be another up-down pair again next week.
Yeah, it's just the nature of things. Being 1 point apart, the runners are still, like, skill-wise, basically, they're on the same level. It's really just affecting that final score as they move into the playoffs. And then these runners being at 4 wins and 3 wins, they both have really good chance of making it to playoffs. So we're expecting a great race here.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for this one. I know they're both really skilled rando runners, and SMZ3. They're also both very skilled in Super Metroid itself. Duck running a few categories and doing any percent, and farfelu mostly I think doing RBO.
For sure. I'm used to seeing both these guys in the SMZ3 weeklies. Very strong runners and tough opponents. It looks like we have morph bombs and screw attack. So that's an interesting start when you don't have power bombs. Still gives them a way to break bombs without having the actual power bombs. Breaking bomb blocks, I mean.
It lets them avoid orphaning too many things.
Yeah, in this case, kind of expecting to see a gauntlet play. Screw attack, making it pretty fast, and then bombs letting you get to the end. Slightly dangerous, having no E-tanks.
Yeah, Duck choosing to take a save here, that's pretty smart. It's a very safe thing to do. farfelu also going for it. Saving it as Kirby ship.
Yeah, that's what we have today. Vanilla runner. Using Samus Sprite against a Kirby and a pink Samus. So let's talk about the modes. We're playing Major Minor. As part of week 5, it's Major Minor, a full area randomizer, and then there's no boss shuffle. So area randomizer is the main thing to look for. And where they didn't have early power bombs, a common thing to see is the blue Brinster area transition, but neither runner was able to make that check.
Yeah, so we're gonna hopefully see that one from the other side. Neither runner really wants to go down there and check what it is.
Get an Ice Beam here at Gauntlet, so that's a really nice item to find. Gonna speed... Oh, that's dangerous, Doc. You don't want to be trapped under the bomb blocks when the acid is rising.
farfelu just slightly mistiming those bombs as to lay another bomb here. So let's Duck get a little bit ahead. Half a room.
Yeah, actually timing the bomb placement is a little bit tricky, and it's something you want to take a look at to practice, because the bomb blocks are going to respawn, and they can do it at a bad time when the acid's rising, and that's an easy way to die. But then in the back here, we get super missiles and the first power bombs, so it's a been a great gauntlet for items.
Yeah, I think they're both pretty relieved about finding those power bombs. Varia is pretty infamous for burying like first power bombs or first supers really deep in a seed, and then you just have to worry about everything you skipped that you couldn't do earlier.
Yeah. But then on the other hand, we have this kind of seed where you get all your ammo types and all these good major items early on. So these types of seeds, I tried to look for like where the E-tanks are placed, and then kind of expect Upper North Fair to have progression. Because if it's giving you all these good items, then you're not getting E-tanks.
Okay, so that's the crab hole where G4 normally would be. You could potentially have to climb up there, which would be cool, but we're gonna need high jump boots before that.
So we get a red tower on farfelu's side, but then Duck went and decided he wanted to divergence and is over here at the moat, checking these area transitions instead.
Yeah, this makes sense. It's a good way to like create divergence, and I don't know. Usually, I feel like these entrances they're kind of faster to check in a way, or not really even. I feel
Yes.
like they're usually better somehow.
Yeah, the moat entrance can be slow to get across, but here they got space jump and bombs. It's good ways over. Finds that always risky top of West Meridia. The sea could want you to drop down through there to get your progression. But won't be happening in this case.
So Duck is gonna get rewarded here by being brought over to G4, or like the G4, what's normally the G4 entrance. And so he'll be able to get to Red Tower and Green Bryn, provided he doesn't get killed by these crabs.
Definitely gotta dodge the crabs. They will kill him one hit. Brought it a little close. But now Duck has all that information about West Meridia and is ready to start going through Red Brinster. And then we're seeing Green Brinster on farfelu's side, which is a great place to find major items, especially early on in the seed.
Yeah, this is typically like a priority location. This is generally what you're looking for to start off the area rando seed. Oh no, Farfelu.
Yeah, it feels bad time loss, having to visit the Eticoons and listen to their sound.
Maybe he'll get some like power bombs or supers here to make him feel better.
Might as well make this check.
It's just missiles too, so extra disappointing.
Yeah, but he's going to want to go back for that speed booster. Definitely wants to pick that up. And now Duck is like just behind him. So I'm wondering how they're both in Green Brinster. Didn't I say that farfelu found Red Tower?
Yeah, they came up from the. It's one of the bottom portals, but like the top right bottom portal of Red Tower led to the elevator here.
Okay, I must have looked away when Duck was doing it.
So we haven't checked then what is at the Spazer location or what's at the tube transition, but they'll be able. The runners will be able to get back to those without too much difficulty, I think.
Yeah, Red Tower has a lot of ways back to it, and they've already found value here in Green Brinster with the speed booster, as well as 3 more majors they can check. And after that, 2 more transitions. This early on the seed, they're going to go a little bit out of their way looking for minor items, missiles, supers, and power bombs, just because those are going to have value throughout the entire seed. So you want to collect a bit of a stockpile early on, so that later on, like when you're deciding your end game for the seed, you're more prepared to choose to get charge or not.
The supers do look like they have been very friendly so far, with both of our runners each having 35 supers, which is something you're generally pretty happy about, I think.
Yeah, having this many more supers than both missiles and power bombs isn't super common, but it is welcome. There's a gravity suit at charge beam. It's gonna make the waterway check even faster. Just run through the water now. But 35 supers already, like you can see yourself not spending too much time looking for charge. And then on top of that, having an early suit.
It's going to be interesting to see what people do with that gravity suit. Duck already has information on a lot of the West Meridia entrances, so he might not really want to go back there anytime soon. But farfelu might end up going and seeing what's at Mama Turtle like a lot earlier because of that.
I could definitely see that happening. Duck just has that one entrance over by the aqueduct part of West Meridia. So not too much incentive to go back, but for now they're closer to these Green Hills transitions, so they're going to be following these instead. We see a wreck ship, the good entrance to wreck ship, and there's 4 majors here in wreck ship and a boss, so they can clear as much as this as they feel they should.
It's pretty interesting that farfelu was gonna check that miner and then decided not to. So he might just be putting that off for now since he has so many supers already, and just a bid to find charge beam.
Yeah, it's kind of the case where if the ammo is super friendly in a seed, then you can skip the even like a little out of the way and purely focus on the in your paths miners if you think there's that many supers coming up. And at this point, they're still going to be checking many majors and can just easily run into charge beam. There's no reason to commit one way or the other at this point.
Duck also just skipped that miner as well. Makes sense. So he's going to be heading down towards Fantoon.
Yeah, so Fantoon is a boss fight. Do need to get the 4 boss skills to lower G4. 1 E-Tank, 1 Reserve, and a Gravity Suit is fine, especially at the skill level of the runners. Shouldn't be much problem here. But then there's also the right side super major location, but the majors after that point cost a bit more time to check. I'd like to see some skips. So I kind of feel like the way this week has been played is we've seen fewer major skips, more full clears.
Especially with like this lack of E-tanks right now, I might expect the runners to check the top of wreck ship here. Duck did have a really nice 2-round Fantoon. Some nice Dopplers there. He had missed one in the first round. He had like hit the wall, so that's good.
That 2-round Fantoon is too hard for me.
farfelu picking up that wave beam. That's my favorite beam, personally. It's like just a really kind of nice quality of life item.
Yeah, I feel the same. It's best speed. Adds a pile of damage. Lets your shots go through walls. Just really convenient to have.
We do see farfelu taking this save, so he's going to be checking the wreck ship E tank here, and I guess we'll see if he checks the entrance at the same time. I'd have a hard time here. Like, if it's a good entrance, you're going to end up abandoning the two majors up at the top, probably.
Yeah, it kind of depends how he feels about skipping majors at this point. Like, going through bowling is kind of slow. And this feels like a fast seed, so maybe you don't feel you can afford the time. Spring ball here. And running out suggests going to the back of wreck ship entrance. Get that check in. And I could kind of see the logic of the seed going two ways with what they have. Like, it could be there's not many E-tanks, so Upper Norfair is going to have your Varia. Or it could be you have an early gravity, ice, speed, so you should make your way to East Meridia and clear out those checks.
We do see Duck chose to go up to the attic, so we are going to be seeing these two checks here. So there's one E tank, which if it does end up being Upper Norfair soon, that would be really good for Duck to have.
Yeah, it's also like at a point where they have enough good items that you're almost expecting to find E-tanks up here. But you do like seeing E-tanks.
Bless Varia for their soft lock protection. Without it, farfelu just would have lost a ton of time.
Yeah, had saved recently, though. But I think East Meridia is a great find for farfelu. There's a bunch of majors here that like seem like logical, like logic is pointing you here. So they seem valuable checks to me. It's just the plasma and check tool checks. Wall and logic are kind of slow to do.
There's even more super missiles. All right, so it's 15, 45, 15 for farfelu, which seems a little excessive.
Yeah, what a count that is. I have no trouble with bottom.
Is Duck not going to go pick up that E-tank? He gets high jump boost, which is not required, but is also really nice to have.
Yeah, high jump, it's good convenience item. But having space jump, they don't really need it. And the time it took to get that was quite a lot. This save from farfelu, I don't really like, because most of the items here you're going to want. A reserve tank, probably the only thing that I'd reset. So, good save.
His gamble paid off.
It just has a sense of where the reserve tanks are going to be. Nice. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense for Duck to follow farfelu into East Meridia. Like check this wreck ship E-tank first, of course.
Do you think he's going to pick up the spring ball?
Yes, I do. Let's see a spring ball pickup.
Here we go.
Now, we've seen a lot of spring ball pickups in these races, but not a whole lot of usage from them. Like, not when they already have gravity.
We'll
So
just
let's
have
see.
to see if he saves 7 seconds over the run with it or not. See if it was worth it.
Farfelu finding another reserve tank.
And it's not boss rando, so they don't have to worry about Dragon here. You don't have to worry about running into Ridley, which is always quite nice.
Yeah, so the thing about Dragon is you could go for a speed kill, but on just one E-tank, that gets a little bit risky and burns through most of your health. So could see maybe half and half do good, or just a full ammo finish. But the problem with full ammo fight is you'd have to refill your super count somewhere. I always like to think ahead to how I'm gonna take these boss fights. I guess Dragon has the most variation in how you can do the fight.
Yeah, with this health, it is kind of spooky to go for too many sparks. Like, I could see 1 or 2 being relatively safe. But if you're trying to, like, go for the full speed kill, I think that's pretty dangerous.
Using power bombs to clear out all the goops. I personally prefer using missiles to shoot a path through the goops. But power bombs is fine. And then getting most of that health back just on boss drops because the total health is so low.
Still, it's probably a pretty welcome E-tank to find at this point.
Yeah, did need another E-tank to finish the seed. So from here, it'll be interesting to see what Farfelu does, and also Duck when he gets to this point. We will kind of expecting to see back of East Meridia, area transition. But before that, they can check the plasma location and Shack Tool with the Ice Beam.
Yeah, we saw Farfelu already choose to skip a couple majors at the top of the wrecked ship. We'll see if he chooses to skip these slow East Meridia majors as well.
Yeah, because they still have the 2 majors of Red Tower and also all of Upper Norfair as possible area locations. Still pretty early on in the seed.
We haven't really seen a lot of transitions in areas. That's true.
Yeah, part of that's because West Meridia just all connected back to Criteria. So we're seeing Duck not start with a Spark. Spark is a lot of damage, and actually his ammo is pretty tight on minimums for killing Dragon.
You do see here he's using the beam to clear out the goop, which is nice because it's going to let him farm back some ammo compared to using a power bomb.
Yeah, in this case, it almost felt wrong to use the power bomb because he needs these ammo drops. Those power bombs always make so much lag, and who wants to see lag in the room? Duck had exact ammo to finish the fight.
Yeah, that's convenient. Didn't have to farm anymore, so he's probably a little happy.
And this is Farfelu skipping Shack Tool. The Ice Beam clip can take a while to get, so totally sensible to just skip it entirely.
It is in logic, so it could be required. That could end up being like Arvaria. It's just, it's such a commitment to go to Shack 2 so early in the seed when you have like Norfair and they're back at Red Tower here, so that's 2 more majors.
Yeah, the runners could also be like guessing that their opponent also doesn't want to take the time to make that check and might feel safe skipping it for now till it's easier later. But X-Ray and Spazer can be much faster checks.
He does go back for that E-Tank, which, you know, makes sense. See, farfelu here has to bomb up there. Could he use Spring Ball if he picked it up?
Yeah. Give Duck a second or two time save when he gets to that point. I'll bring him to -5.
You can also do, I think, a jump morph, but I don't know if you can really do that with high jump boots. It's pretty tight.
Yeah, with high jump it's pretty hard. You can also do a wall jump morph, but also they have high jump.
The Red Tower just E-Tank so far.
Yeah, not too surprising that we're finding all the E-Tanks now. The early game was pretty stacked. But this means Upper Norfair is going to go much faster once they do get there.
Yeah, for majors that we're missing, it's just what Charge, Spazer, and Varga. Oh yeah, and Grapple and X-Ray. I forgot about those ones.
Yeah, those are the 2 items that are not on the tracker because they're on the HUD of the players. Easy to forget those.
I'm always a little bit scared of that yapping Maroon towards Forgotten Highway here. It doesn't usually happen, but I'm always scared that they're gonna get me. I'm gonna fall in the sand, and I'm gonna look real silly.
Yeah, big time loss to get grabbed there. But it helps to have space jump. Just jump across. So this is farfelu in Upper Norfair, and Duck appears to be trailing. That's where the time difference is mostly from that attic skip that farfelu made.
Yeah, the
also,
attic skip and a little bit of West Meridia exploration from Duck.
Yeah, right. So Duck knows a little bit more about West Meridia. Still want more E-Tanks, since this is... haven't done the Upper Norfair Hell runs yet. And then with... they're starting to get enough E-Tanks, and their ammo already looks pretty good, that they can start thinking about skipping the various suit. Don't usually see it in these races, but sometimes it beats out looking for variant.
That grapple will help that for sure.
Yeah, both these runners able to pull off a various skip.
Yeah, they both have good RBO time, so I would expect if a situation comes up where you have so many supers and you have good energy and PBs, you can go take your chances with Ridley and Lower Norfair.
Then one of the dangers with that, with these settings, is I don't think we've seen front of Lower Norfair yet, and then that could end up being a Torian, or even a Kraid.
Yeah, so Duck pretty much just following in Farfelu's footsteps here. So we are still missing, I guess, the top of Red Tower entrances. Or is that where, right, that's, yeah, we haven't seen those yet.
Right, we've seen the bottom of Red Tower in the middle. There's the rest of Upper Norfair here to see. One entrance in West Meridia. Bottom of Criteria in Blueprint. We still have some outstanding area transitions. Yeah, as part of the way the seed started, they did not get early power bombs. They instead got everything else, which means morph bombs and screw attack. So both did a gauntlet check, got even more good items. Duck went to the right of the ship and found 3 of the West Meridian entrances, which brought him back to the other side of Criteria. And he's been trailing farfelu for a bit since then.
Next to find an E-tank here at speed. This is one of the reasons why you don't want to necessarily farm up to full when doing your hell runs, because you can sort of hope to get an E-tank.
Yeah, having speed booster already to get to that major and back is only like 2 E-tanks worth of health. And if you get an E-tank there at the major spot, then you can like fill up the rest of your energy. Have we seen the Norfair Reserve yet? Or is Wave our last location?
Wave is the last location here. It's just the Spazer being one of our outstanding major items. The Norfair Reserve, I think, is just a vanilla reserve tank.
I think that'd be all reserves then. So in Area Rando, these crumble blocks at the Lower Norfair Escape are removed and open up as a area transition. And we find Torian there, which is very good info. Can't go through yet because still have 2 more bosses to kill, but we'll be returning to this entrance later.
Yeah, it is good info. We know that it can't be at the end of Lower Norfair, which still could be Kraid, so runners might not want to commit to Lower Norfair just yet.
We're still piecing together like the map. A couple more entrances here in Upper Norfair. We haven't seen Crocmire either, and that'd be another dead end. Yeah, 2 more here, one at Chronic Boost Room and one at the Crocmire door.
If this does end up being a suitless Lower Norfair play, I think those high jump boots could actually end up being pretty important, because that makes Ridley kind of a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, that's true. It's very easy to actually bump Ridley or not do the manips correctly if you don't have high jump. And then also having speed makes your jumps weird.
So there is Crocomire. That's the chronic boost entrance there. Farfelu just leaving. Doesn't want those major items.
Yeah, doesn't have charge beam yet, so would have taken a bit to kill off Croc. Check those majors. Could have it in his mind he wants to do the various skip, and if that's the case, then pretty close to go mode. Mostly needs more ammo, and to know more entrances. It's also very important.
Okay, so there's Retro Brin. So that's one of the entrances we were missing.
Yeah, so this is going to be Farfelu going up to the mode area and finding the other two West Meridias. And we'll probably take that to find our final West Meridia entrance.
Duck wasting all the time he had from that he saved with his spring ball so far by picking up that spazer.
He's just filling in his tracker card.
Yeah, so Farfelu might end up giving us that Mama Turtle check. It was a nice attempt at that left side beneath the spark. It made me laugh.
It's Farfelu things.
Yeah, we do see that Farfelu has routed pretty aggressively so far, choosing to skip that Crocomire, skipped the top of Wreck Chip, skipping Shack Tool makes sense. Nobody's gonna do Shack Tool here, really. It's really, really risky.
A little better now with grapple, but didn't have it at the time. I think I would have liked a ship refill as he was passing by the ship, but that does depend on his future plans for the seed. And we saw both of them getting super low because they know about this health refill at Nutella refill.
So what are we missing so far? We're missing the top right here of West Meridia. We're missing the front of Lower Norfair. Right, and the top of Red Tower.
Alright, those two. And then also Kraid.
Okay, so Farflu's about to find out if we need to go through, or what we need to go through here.
That's a front of Lower Norfair, so that opens up the ability to various skip. Like having this much health, this much ammo, you can do it. Maybe wants another power bomb pack.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's gonna maybe go back to the back entrance and also fill up his power bombs.
Yeah, for sure. When you're trying to various skip, you want to do it from that back entrance where it's a little easier.
Maybe not. I would have expected him to grab that health refill if that's what he was doing.
That's part of why I wanted a ship refill. It's full ammo and health. But then we have Duck going through the Croc majors. Also seems to want Varia.
He just resets away that E-tank. If he was, I guess, going for Lower Norfair, he probably would have pick that up as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Their ammo's good enough that they don't really need charge. The super count's great for this point in the seed. Duck was saying earlier today that he's practiced skipping suits in these seeds, his practice seeds.
I generally prefer doing gravity or having like a gravity skip compared to skipping Varia, just because it's a lot less stressful.
Yeah, especially with this no boss shuffle. The Ellen part into a Ridley fight. Bit stressful. Farfelu finds the Kraid's lair at the bottom of Green Brinster, and then this will be 2 more major items. Could be Varia. Wait and see. Could even be a charge beam. But if he has pieced together the map, then coming to Kraid before Ridley makes a ton of sense. You get these 2 majors first.
Duck remembering to set up this spark. Tries to do the left side. It's funny that they both set up the spark and both messed it up.
Yeah, they both went for left side, messed it up in a slightly different way.
Okay, E-Tank here for farfelu, and he will get a nice little PB refill from the B-Toms in Kraid's closet area.
I wonder if you feel bad about having to come back to this location for Kraid's lair. A more thorough area checker might have found this.
Yeah, this one I might feel a little bad about. Like, Green Brin's a bit of a difficult area to come back to a lot of the time.
Just more E-Tanks. After enough checks, you can kind of discover where Vary is based on where you haven't seen yet. And one of those spots is this Mama Turtle check. Turns out Duck was first to get here, and first to Various suit. How about that?
It's been available for so long.
Getting more power bombs anyway. How is he going to use those power bombs to make back 7 seconds?
It's a good point.
Yeah, to be fair, it does need more ammo to finish the seed. So I was looking for missiles or supers. And we just saw Farfelu taking a kind of sizable detour to fill up on all this ammo.
Right, so that does seem to suggest he's probably just going to go for the back of Lower Norfair here.
Yeah, and if you can pull off the Varia skip quickly, then you're not really losing much time to not having Varia. But it does help to find E-Tanks along the way to speed that up.
Wonder if
Yeah,
going through the front there is faster, or if Duck wants to go check out that green Brin entrance this way.
I feel like that comes down to what kind of map he's built up with the areas. If you just want to kill Ridley, then that seemed like the way to go. But if you know that Green Bryn is gonna dead end at Kraid, then maybe it's more efficient to come here first. From my position, it's pretty hard to build a map and keep track of all these areas. So I kind of leave it up to the runners to decide on the optimal paths.
And it's probably faster to come this way. I think Norfair doesn't Green Brin lead into Red Tower. Yeah,
Sure it does.
and then you can do no, yeah, like they're right beside each other. So it does make a lot of sense to come do Kraid first here.
So this is farfelu on the way out of Green Bryn is entering the back of Lornor Fair. And this kind of looks like he's ahead for the time being, since he's not going to look for various suit. But is going to have a bit of a slower Lornor Fair and still needs to pick up more miners while doing this, but not that many more.
I mean, I guess farfelu 4065, I think that's pretty comfortable now. Although Duck does need a couple more.
Yeah, one of the thresholds is 40 missiles, 60 supers. So farfelu's above that. Duck under.
Nice little E-tank there at farfelu's.
Yeah, I think for majors, like we've seen all of them except for Charge Beam. So we're gonna be pick up a lot of E-tanks in this path. Wonder if that's a factor in this decision. Like, it's likely that you run into E-tanks while running through the warfare. Of course, he hasn't seen high jump either. High jump was at the top of wrecked ship. Farfelu decided to skip top of wrecked ship. I feel like Duck hasn't made back the time of that play with high jump. But who can say? Kind of all over the place.
I feel like Lower Norfair is one of the places you see like the high jump difference the most. But the runners do have space jump, so that does negate like a lot of the advantage of high jump boots.
Yeah, having high jump and speed like really helps when you can do any percent strats that you've practiced a lot.
Oh, those are scary metal pirates there.
Yeah, losing a bit of health and time here, but you're kind of gonna burn health after this room. You want a Crystal Flash entering Ridley. So not super costly, just a bit of time to reset the room. And then with 70 supers, you don't have to farm before Ridley. Might want to top off your power bombs is the only thing. But having 70 supers makes this... it helps a lot.
Yeah, he has enough ammo to comfortably Crystal Flash a couple times here. He will probably have to farm power bombs on his way out, depending on Ridley's drops here and whatever's behind him.
Yeah. If this fight goes well, then should only need one more crystal flash to leave. I expect.
Gets some nice RNG there with Ridley doing another pogo, so should be able to finish this off really nicely, really comfortably.
Fantastic fight. Really handled the no high jump and speed well.
Yeah, you pick up that E-Tank. You might not even have needed it, honestly, but I would have picked it up.
Yeah, it's hard to say where the crystal flashpoint's going to be. But it feels good to pick that up.
So very minimal farming here. Just getting power bombs and just killing some bugs while he's waiting.
Yeah, and they're both like on a set path to the end of the seed, where Duck's gonna go into the Ridley fight and then leave back to Torian. Farflu's already done the Ridley part, so just going to Torian. So what Duck would want to happen to be ahead would to be in the lead, leaving this lower Norfair, because this is like his time advantage is through his Variasuit. And after this point, it's not really gaining time off of that anymore.
Okay, a super pack there is looking for a Duck. Along with, I think there was one more at like the Hoda Ruby missiles. I don't think Duck checked that.
A little bit surprised, but maybe he wants to check these two major items for a chance to charge, since it is kind of likely to have charge here. It just happens not to. Majors we haven't seen is like Shack Tool and Screw Attack. Farflu's out. That E-Tank didn't have to do another Crystal Flash.
Nice. That's really good for him. So now I think he just has to make it to, was it single chamber where Torian is?
Yeah, and actually does need a little bit more health to get there. Probably just for safety, would want more health. But that's the reheated here.
It's the kind of hell run where I would just go for it, and then I would hit one of those pillars trying to space jump across without high jump.
Yeah, that definitely always happens. Getting through that room with speed and no high jump is awful. But once he does get through here and into the Torian area, the elevator is going to be a full health and ammo refill. So it doesn't have to worry about draining all this ammo right now.
Yeah, so managed to hold on to that CF right to the end there. That's really good. So he's gonna be coming in here to Torian like a couple minutes ahead of Duck.
Duck just spent a little bit more time looking for majors, top of wreck ship, Crocomire, and then Mama Turtle. and did end up finding Varia, but the time it took to get it just wasn't. Farfelu just pulled ahead during that time.
Let's see if Duck goes and grabs those supers.
Yeah, Farfelu has to be a little careful using supers because it's a ammo mother brain kill.
Yeah, I expect them to group this last room here.
Yeah, it gets great drops at the final room too.
Yeah, was that like 5 or 6 supers off the last one? That's really nice.
Nothing to worry about. Doesn't have high jump, so not going to see a baby skip.
I've messed around with a lot of the baby skips, and like this one with only speed is the worst one. It's terrible.
I was looking at one point like using a spark to get an early detach, but I could never get a consistent way to build that spark.
Yeah, I've seen in low percent speed you can kind of like manage your health and build a spark at the end when the baby grabs you, but I haven't really managed to figure that out. And it would be so difficult to do in rando.
Yeah, extra difficult in high stakes tournament race, which we're in today. Got a 4-0 apathyduck against a 3-1 farfelu. So top of the competition runners here. About to hit the 1 hour mark when you start to worry about your opponent finishing.
Farfelu just doing another attempt at this speed Zeb skip here. There we go. He got through that time.
Absolutely want a Zeb skip some kind. This ammo kill.
I have definitely lost races before on Zeb skip, so I know how bad it feels to start missing them there.
So Farfelu has 7 supers that they're able to miss. And also has to remember that they don't have a Varia suit. And the Rainbow Beam will do 600 damage.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest skills in this. Remembering that you don't have Varia and not to damage down too much.
Yeah. In this case, like not having Charge Beam means you want to damage down. But then you don't have Varia, so you need to not do it too much. But he's aware and at the good amount of health.
Doesn't go for the stand-up. Doesn't want to manip that baby. Or mother brain.
So one of the benefits of stand-up here is you're always going to be at high enough health to survive Rainbow. Even if you don't get the damage part of it.
I did watch a race earlier today where someone saved time from doing stand-up without charge. Like, they saved a few seconds.
Yeah, the time save is there for the taking. Most people just don't go for it.
I think in a lot of cases you'd probably lose the time just from setting it up, but it's possible.
Yeah. you want to be like pretty comfortable with your standard punch, if you're going for that small amount of time. So here we get to see the time difference of the two runners. Duck starting Mother Brain 2 as farfelu ends Mother Brain 3. Duck able to move fast with having all the items, which is a little bit too far behind from those extra checks looking for Varia. Maybe the difference is that spring ball skip. We're having a bit of a checkered tracker here. And Spazer and spring ball decide not to get them.
Yeah, those things do add up. Just like each item's gonna save about 7 seconds.
And then Duck also having more total miners picked up. So just spent more time in fanfares.
farfelu nailing the behemoth spark this time.
Always aim your spark to the right. But with this, we're going to have farfelu taking the win. Moving on to 4 and 1. Bringing Duck down to 4 and 1. And that's farfelu on the ship. Time of 1:03:50. GG.
GG, farfelu.
Is this going to encourage people to pick Kirby ship more? I don't know.
I would hope so. I think we need more Kirby ships and less Kirby sprites.
I'm kind of okay with that. Kirby's ship is a good ship. And we're joined by farfelu.
Hi, GG. Well, that was a fun race. I talked a bit in the race room with Doug, but that crate door, that was a scary last location.
Yeah, something that early, where a lot of runners are going to go check that. It's definitely scary.
Yeah, I was a bit scared before the race because I've been out for the last couple of weeks, so you maybe did not notice much, but there was a couple execution mistakes. Like I said, I was a bit rusty, like when I fall into the pit at Eticoons or the Z-skip that I could not do until a couple tries, but overall I'm still pretty okay. I feel good about how I routed or executed the thing, even with the trade last location. I think it's one of my best, my favorite mode here. Even with if there's not the boss rando thing, that's not exactly the SG Life preset, but yeah, I like pretty much Major Miner with area random.
It's a good mode. It really mixes up the map, of course, but changes how you need to think about things. And here we have Duck coming in second place, entering the ship. Time of 1:06:08. GG's to Duck.
Yeah, the seed was very friendly for you guys with all like the supers and everything. It really enabled you to make like the suitless lower Norfair play. Like it wasn't really much of a commitment. It was you already had all the stuff for it.
Yeah, I even considered not checking behind Ridley. I don't know if you saw that, but I decided after all to go check, and if it's an E-tank, I could use a free refill. But yeah, the lower Norfair part was not that bad because yeah, I had what 9 or 10 E-tanks plus the seed was very generous in supers.
That had to have been the freest lower North Hell run I've ever seen. There was 2 tanks down there, plus you were loaded out the eyes. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we were kind of wondering at what point either of you would like decide that it was a good play.
so I was definitely like that was on my mind, but I had missed Kraid, and Kraid could have been at the other end of it, right? From my perspective. So, and like I knew Torian was right there, so I was like, well, okay, there's no reason to do it now because I have to find Kraid, and if Kraid is elsewhere, then I'm coming back this way anyways, which is what my routing ended up working out. And then like, I mean, I wasn't planning on really looking for Varia, but like I had that one door in West Meridia I had to clean off, and I was like, well, if Varia's here, it'll certainly make my life slightly easier, and it's pretty close. I might as well check, and like it almost had to have been there at that point. It was either there or Kraid, so I was like, okay. But yeah, we were in like literally all we needed was ammo and E-tanks like 2 minutes into this race. Like I found gravity. I was like, okay, literally I could finish the seed if I just have ammo and miners, and then I ended up clearing every single location except for one. Which charge has to be screw, right? I didn't miss something.
We haven't seen Shack Tool, but
Oh yeah,
credits
that
either.
guy. Yeah, one of those two.
Yeah, one of those two.
One of
Yeah,
the
so, like,
terrible locations.
Once I realized I had missed Kraid, I was hoping Kraid was going to be at the other end of Lower Norfair, and Farfelu committed to it. And then like once honestly, like once I started like cleaning up Kraid, I started like at 50 minutes I started looking for a dot done because I was like, you could be done by now in this thing. It was so silly.
Yeah.
So
Funny enough is that you both ended up skipping that grade, and you
I was
were
surprised.
both like worried about going into Lower Norfair because Kraid might be at the front.
Yeah, I was surprised that he skipped it too, because if you don't skip it, I would have expected him to be done like a long time ago. So it was interesting that was that close. Well, I guess that makes sense. That's yeah. Never mind. What I
Really, like the biggest difference between you two in terms of routing was just that your choice of doing the top erect ship along with Crocomire, which like just had like E-tanks and I mean high jump boots was nice, the top erect ship, but it's not really what you're looking for at that point.
Yeah, at that point, so I was still far enough away on ammo at that point. I think like Varia would have still been helpful. Plus, I could have gotten more miners in Lower Norfair. Yeah, I'd have to go. Maybe Croc wasn't a good idea. I don't know.
And I think it makes a lot of sense, especially since you'd already seen like a lot.
I'd seen so much. That was it. I'd seen so much. I was like, this has to be something, right? Like, oh, and did you? So the whole turning around criteria thing at the beginning, right? Where I went to the other side.
Yeah, that was fun to see.
So my plan was, I was like, well, this race is really close, right? Like between me and Farfelu, like we're pretty.
Yeah,
I would say we're decently even matched. I'm like, so I did that kind of loop. I got a bunch of like items, and I didn't have an E-tank, and I was like, I kind of want a safety save here in case like something was weird over there. And I was like, screw it. Let me just go the other way because I'm 99% sure Farfelu's coming this way. And I'll just make some early divergence, and we'll play the race like that. And then I check those 2 doors, and then it just spits me back out where I started. I'm like, I was like, well, that was. I was laughing so hard when that happened. I was like, that was the worst plan I've ever seen. I like to call that getting Jurassic Parked when you're back in the car. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, yep, I'm back where I started.
I think it like potentially delayed you from getting Varia too, since you'd already seen most of West Meridian.
Yeah,
you don't really want to go back there.
I did think about going back there at one point, like because I could have actually gotten that pretty early, and so I was But yeah, I had thought about it, and like I said, the only reason I cleaned that up because that was one of the possible doors Kraid could have been. So I have a feeling like if Kraid was there, I'd probably win this because it was much closer than Brinster. And Bryn being the last connection to criteria. But in retrospect, not when I see Rex ship there, I should check that other door. It's so close. I guess my thinking was there was enough stuff. It could have been that was bad that I don't know. But yeah, I think you got to check that door, especially when it's a 3 like that. Like it's just too likely that's a dead end at that point.
It's just part of the mode. It's hard to make calls like that because you know that's going to cost time. Where you might just come back through an easier path later.
Yeah, I mean, I was literally saying in the one we commented earlier how valuable knowledge was, and then I played this, see like, screw knowledge. I'm just going for it. So yeah, I mean, I'm shocked Farfelu made the same play. When he said that, I was like, oh, that's crazy. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch back, see what the it had been pretty minor differences since we did similar things.
Yeah, the differences were mostly skips on Farfelu's parts, I'd like to say.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess looking at the tracker.
Yeah, I had everything. Like, but I mean, all of that was in the first 5 minutes, except for like, I don't know. It was all so early. So, and like, I was a little worried because like, so I did wreck ship, and then I did, and like, the sea was just giving me so many majors. I had so few E-tanks at this point. Like, I didn't do either of the red tower checks when I went to Brinster. So I cleaned Brinster, I cleaned wreck ship, I cleaned East Meridia, and at that point, I'm worried. I like, all of a sudden, it went from just everything being items to everything being E-tanks, and like, I assumed this was one of those like super fast progression speed things, and I was like, oh great. That means Varia was probably in Red Tower, and I'm supposed to go there. And I was worried about that, and all of a sudden, I get spit back out in Red Tower. I'm like, oh, well, that's convenient. But, yeah, it was just such a weird seed. Like I said, we had literally everything right away, and then it just, like, ran into a brick wall, where it's like, I didn't even want this stuff. I would have been happier with more supers than half the majors I started finding at that point.
That this will be Farfelu taking a win off of Duck. First loss of the tournament, Duck.
My first rando loss ever, by the way.
First rando loss ever, Duck, to Farfelu. How's it feel, Farfelu?
Well, glad I did.
Yeah.
You're both. Wait. So that means you are. We are both 4-1 now. I hope we cannot race again.
Oh God, we better
next
not.
Week.
I'd be so mad. I will. I mean,
no,
that's
not a thing.
It was funny because I got matched down, and like normally getting matched down, it's like, okay, well, I mean, theoretically, you should be playing someone, you know, slightly worse than your bracket, but like Farfelu easily could have been 4-0. So I felt weird, like, complaining that, like, I got the hardest opponent when it was just like, I probably should just get someone of his skill anyways because I'm 4-0. So I'd been saying for a long time I didn't want the bracket below was actually getting pretty scary with the amount of players who had gotten one loss already. So yeah, I was going to be playing I think because of the way it was going to work out, I was going to be playing the 4-1s next week either way. So it just, you know, I don't have the win now, but I had to lose eventually. So, and it's going to come down to the stuff like this. So it's not surprising.
I think Farfelu got matched up because he had like the highest Buchholz, however you pronounce that.
With Buchholz plus, like, there was the fake seating beforehand. So it was just whoever has the highest Buchholz and whoever has the highest quote-unquote seating. So I had the lowest fake seating and he had the highest fake seating.
But I think there's a good chance Farfelu ends up getting matched up again next week. Or is there? Wait, who's
It depends.
How many is there left now, or is there just 2?
No, there's just going to be 2. If I won, there would have been 3, and I would have been matched down again. But now there's just 2, so there won't be. Me losing made it an even number. If I won, it would have been odd, and then I probably would have been matched down again. So I think there's just going to be 2 5-0s, and then there's going to be however many 4-1s. So he should be safe.
Well, it's not like the 4-1 bracket is free, but I got my fair share of tough opponents in this tournament.
Yeah, the fact that you're 4-1 is insane. Like, you played Sloters, you played me. I sound like a jerk, but me. You played someone else really good too, didn't you?
All weeks I face opponents that I consider could make the top 16. First was Siffy, Slaughters, Rusty, Nefdi, and you.
And you're 4-1 after that? Jeez. That's insane. That's ridiculous. I think I'm the weakest opponent you've played so far. And you got matched up to play me.
Yeah, that's a crazy path. But after all that, I think you're both still in good position to advance on to top 16. 4-1, still a good score, ending week 5.
Yeah, it's just like I said, like when you get to the when you're like 4-0 or 4-1 or 5-0, whatever. Like the second you start tumbling, like you're still going to be playing very strong. So it's pretty easy for like me to lose 3 in a row at this point. So it's certainly not going to be easy because everyone at the top. I mean, which makes sense, right? But everyone at the top now is really strong. So.
But yeah, GG's. Is anything else you guys want to add?
No, I'm good.
Yes, I'll go ahead and just say big thank you for the restream. I think it was Lomian who was tracking, so thank you Lomian for tracking. Thank you guys for the comms. And yeah, see you next week.
All right, so go ahead, give our runners a follow. We got apathyduck, we have farfelu. Let me throw that command up there in the chat. apathyduck07 and farfelu with a 1. Remember that. And Aussie 101 here on commentary with me. Lomi and Jones on tracking. Give them a follow as well. This was a really good race, and I was pretty happy to be part of the comms for this one.
Yep, for sure. You two put on a great race. And thanks to Simo for also being here on comms. Been fun watching this with you. But this is going to be it for Super Metroid tonight. And then one more day, known as Sunday, to end off the week 5 races. So tune in for those tomorrow. And with that, see you all next mission.